Ashok Reddy, Managing Director at TeamLease Services, in conversation with NDTV's Ramya Dharmarajan.
Can you run us through the IPO? How has the anchor interest been so far?
So I think it's a primary and a secondary issue that we have, 150 crore primary and at the higher end 423 crore issue overall. The anchor interest has been tremendously good and we are very enthused by that fact. So we've had a large element of interest from all the domestic funds and also the international funds. We've just made the allocations yesterday to 15 anchor investors covering all the great names. I'm sorry to say that we've actually had to turn down some of them given the constraints of the size of the issue. So 190 crore anchor allocation has been completed. Good names both from a perspective of capital, the element of eSpring, Goldman Sachs, Reliance, Birla, Sundaram, all of them are on board.
How will the growth rates be achieved?
So I think if you really look at it, today the formal sector of the staffing space only plays to 1% of the opportunity overall. 29% of India's workforce is outsourced. That's 129 million. And the formal sector is only 1%. And I think the element of a transition that we have been seeing from various industries and companies to prefer the formal sector and a transition that's happening from the informal sector to the formal sector is really what will drive the element of growth. Obviously, if the GDP, the economy growth were to kick in, it will complement that element of growth further as we go forward.
Can you run, what is the cash raised going to be used for and others that you have?
So we are a cash positive company. We've been making profits and generate our own internal cash flows, and 150 crore that's being raised now, largely to address the element of capital for acquisitions, because while historically we've had the 25-30% growth on the basis of organic growth opportunities could potentially come up, and we'd like to be prepared for the same. There are also some technology investments and long-term working capital requirements that kick in with the element of scale and size, and that's really where we are being prepared for by raising the 150 crore issue.
So how much profitability are you expecting out of the IPO?
So there's no really, over the last 5 years, we've been improving our profit margins. We've effectively, last year, got to about a 1.8% EBITDA margin. And I think that's seen a 5-fold jump over the last 5 years. So like I keep saying, this staffing business is a low margin business, low gross margin business. But the element of the bottom lines primarily kicks in by virtue of our ability to play to scale and economies of scale.
Okay. What are the innovations in the business that are underway?
So I think largely technology becomes a key variable. If you really look at it, we are not into a rocket technology business. We are into a business that has very low entry barriers. But sustainability of growth as we go forward is primarily driven by the aspect of being able to deliver consistently to customer asks and being able to address and ensure statutory regulatory compliances on a continuous basis. I think those are the two areas that we've been making our investments. We look at it primarily as a three-leg stool where technology, people and processes are the key enablers to the element of service delivery and growth into the future.
Lastly, what distinguishes you from other players, your peers basically?
So I think if you really look at it, what your ability to consistently deliver to customer asks. The three key asks that the customer has. One is to pay salaries accurately and timely, consistently to the workforce that's deployed. The comprehensive statutory compliances and adherence to the laws of the land. And a strong HR support and query resolution mechanism for employees. And I think we excel on that front. While we are not perfect, we continuously strive towards that.